Sam, I am.
Sam, I am.
Eggs and ham.
Oh, and we're live. Imagine that.
We are live.
I got to be careful when I say I'm ready because, like, click, we're live.
That's it. So,
yeah, I want to hang. What do you want to hang about?
we're doing a training tonight.
Yeah,
Pretty exciting.
it could be.
So, wow, what a funny day. We had an 8 a.m. meeting as usual, and then at 11:30 to 1:30 we did our NPOD training with our NPOD students.
Yep.
And then took a little break, and now we're back.
And raring to go.
Tremendously exciting. So we're doing a webinar tonight, and the webinar is all about the types of limiting beliefs that can hold us back as entrepreneurs from achieving our business goals, our financial goals. What are they? How do we spot them? How do we get around them? Asking ourselves the question, do we even have them? Are limiting beliefs something that can prevent you from achieving your goals? What are your thoughts on this?
Nah, I think it's easy. No, I don't have any whatsoever. I am perfect, as are you, and there is nothing to work on. So I think we should just cancel tonight's webinar.
So another question to ask around limiting. So we think about limiting beliefs, and adding the word limiting before beliefs makes it a negative, right? Hey, Gene.
Hi, Gene.
Good to see you. So when we talk about beliefs, a lot of times this is what I believe. This is what I stand for. This is who I am. This is what's up. And it's something many of us are proud of is our beliefs, our religious beliefs, our political beliefs, right? Is the world round? Is the world flat? Some people have a very strong opinion about this. And our beliefs make up our ego, our personality. We think often, most of the time, think about our beliefs in many ways as us. It's what makes us who we are.
Absolutely. I mean, right? Like, if you want to get into the meat of the matter, right? Like, all beliefs are not necessarily limiting or positive or negative. They are whether they serve us or they don't,
Right.
Because like we've discussed many times, like all beliefs, all thought, I mean, all a belief is a thought that you think again and again and again until you believe it to be absolute and there's, like passing thoughts can become habitual thoughts can become beliefs. Think of a thought often enough that becomes a belief. Think that belief often enough and it becomes a core belief. Think that core belief enough and it becomes part of your rooted identity of who you are. And that's like, the computer operating system and the OS. It's invisible, right? I mean, like everything operates on top of it, but it is what it is. And then the question becomes, is that serving you or is it working against you? And sometimes it serves you and sometimes it works against you. It just depends on what it is and in the context of what it is and where it is and also where you are in life in your situation and as you're going through life, what serves you or works against you shifts depending on what's up.
Yeah, so let's think about this through an entrepreneurial lens though, right? And Gene says, one belief is making the process perfect before launching. That's right. Rick Berto says,
Rick?
Awesome. Rick, good to see you. Long time. So check this out.
It could be a better time for people, by the way.
So far, so good. That's right. So May 6th, 1954. Now, I'm not normally one to quote dates, but I just Googled it while you were talking a minute ago. And that way I was able to quote the date successfully. Do you know what happened on May 6, 1954?
No idea.
There is a man, a runner, and his name was Roger Bannister. And Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile on May 6, 1954.
But nobody remembers him because like a week later or something, right? Like Jesse Owens or something?
You know, that may be true. I didn't read that far in the Wikipedia article, and I never remember names and dates from history. But even though I'm like a crazy runner, I just don't remember that stuff. But I'll tell you one thing, is that after Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, lots of people were able to break the 4-minute mile.
Right,
There's a
right.
way that beliefs operate in terms of our physical confines. What are our
Right.
bodies capable of doing? As human race, what can people pull off? Right?
Yeah, sure.
There was a very long time where we did not believe humans could break the 4-minute mile. Humanity, all of humanity believed it was impossible until freaking Roger Bannister just popped it, right? So
Right.
in the marketing and business world, online in particular, there have been some cool things that have really opened up, expanded our limited beliefs in the past. And some
Right.
of those similar events that have occurred that were like the 4-minute mile. The biggest one was John Reese, in my opinion, where John Reese had the first $1 million day. Okay?
I agree.
And again, this is were there companies, were there businesses that had already generated more money than he did? Of course there were, but he was the first.
Yeah, but in the teaching space and in the education space, yeah, he was the first person. And before that, he was basing it on Jeff Walker's stuff, where, you know, before he launched the product launch formula, he had a site called 6 and 7,
Yeah,
which was all about 6 figures in 7 days.
that's right.
And
Right.
you know, kind of a similar concept.
Very similar. And so what ended up happening was John Reese made $1 million in a day with a launch of an info product called Traffic Secrets. And after that first $1 million day that one dude did from the comfort of his home, okay, with a small team and a crazy idea, in short order, that became same old. Okay. My single biggest, like, concentrated financial accomplishment that always gets the biggest wows from everybody is I did a teleseminar with Sean Casey, and we made $1 million in an hour as part of our launch. Okay, this was
Right.
many years after John Reese did the first $1 million day, and everybody just knew it was possible. And
Right.
so what happens when beliefs change for entrepreneurs is we either see other people do it or we see evidence of ourselves doing something, or both, that expands our natural, oh, of course I could do that. I mean, if they could, why couldn't I? And when that happens, a whole new world of opportunity and possibility opens up that simply you could not see as an option prior to that, because it seemed impossible, unrealistic, or just like a impossible to imagine pipe dream.
Right. And I mean, like, you put yourself in John Reese's shoes for a second, and he was venturing into new territory, but he wasn't, because in his mind, it was a done deal. I don't
Right.
know if he knew what it was going to be, and I don't know if he knew, like, you know, if he had the goal of $1 million, but I think he was pretty clear that he was going to set all sorts of, you know, amazing success records as a result of what he was doing. And I don't think there was any doubt in his mind that it was possible, even though it was unprecedented, and even though nobody had ever been there before. In his mind, he was already there. It is because he said it was. And so then the other people then use that as evidence to prove that it's true, but he proved it in his mind first that it was true, and
Right.
then he made it true.
He planned
Right.
it,
And
he
so, I mean,
prepared it. Yeah.
it takes both, right? I mean, like that's the space that I choose to live in, is creating from nothing, creating unprecedented results without having any evidence to follow. Like, you know, create it, and then there'll be evidence for other people to, you know, say, oh, look, see, it's possible, that type
That's
of
right.
thing. And I just love that personally as a space to live in for life. And then it becomes like, you know, I mean, so let's say you can't live there, or you're not familiar with that, or you don't even believe that that's a possibility for you, because that's a different type of belief system. I mean, that happens to be a belief that I chose to adopt, frankly, that
Right.
you know, I selected it and worked on it until it became a core part of who I am. And like any belief, it's limiting, but it serves me because I chose it.
Right.
It propels me, and in some ways, it works against me, right? Because when I'm creating from nothing, and when I'm in that space, sometimes I'm making life harder on myself than it necessarily needs to be. But that's the choice that I've made, right? And sometimes I can choose to create from nothing. Sometimes I can choose to look at other people to support the evidence. If I don't have the confidence yet, then like that. So
what? So many people have heard about this idea of being in the fishbowl, right? When you're in the fishbowl, you can't see the bowl, right? It's your entire existence. As far as you know, that's everything that's out there, right? And this is the way it is. This is the way it is. And so, as with the 4-minute mile, just because Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile didn't mean every human being could break the 4-minute mile. Not by a long shot. The only people that were able to break the 4-minute mile were seriously lifelong dedicated Olympic level runners. But the people who had done the training, put in skills, had the dedication, it allowed them to have a greater, clearer, more definite vision in their mind because someone else
and they already had they were already in that range themselves. So William, let me ask you, what do you think? Is there power in believing? And when you say the word believing, what do you mean by that? What's your definition of it? So let's I've got my answers. I'm sure Tomlin's got his, but I don't know quite what you're referring to when you say believing, and I'm just kind of curious, like, what your reference point is.
Oh, hey, William. What's up, man? Good to see you. AKA Bill. There's so much power in belief, right? And so that's one of the interesting things is that, again, back to the 4-minute mile example, in 1954, there was no internet. Let's remember this for a moment. Okay, there was no instantaneous communication. There was no live streaming. So he broke it, and then people talked about him breaking it, and enough people talked about him breaking it that people started to believe it was possible. And only when they believed it was possible did other people break it, even though they didn't witness it themselves. They didn't see it with their own eyes. They were not there, or many of them were not there. But because there were reports in the newspaper and on the radio that this had happened, it gave them the capability to mentally imagine
the confidence,
it real and to believe in themselves. Whereas honestly, they were capable of it probably for months or years prior. And they just had a mental
in that
block.
case, it was definitely a mental limitation for sure.
It was a fishbowl.
Now, could I run a 4-minute mile? No freaking way. And I don't have a desire to.
Not today.
I don't have a desire to, so I'm never going to be able to run a 4-minute mile because I don't have that interest.
That's right.
But I also don't have the physical capabilities. I mean, I recognize what you're saying, that I could train, and I'm confident that I could develop it for sure.
That's right. That's right. We are totally not talking about UFOs, Rory. But maybe we are. I heard there was one in New Jersey just a couple of days ago. Actually, there was a whole bunch of video footage of 4 or 5 minutes of video footage about this UFO in New Jersey. I heard that Roger Bannister was on the UFO running around, and he set a new record, 3-minute mile. Well, on a UFO. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Man.
Bill says the Olympics are a great example. Before world records are set, they are only ideas. Until those records are broken, the task is impossible. Bill has a ton of experience in circus arts and performance and gymnastics and doing absolutely obscenely crazy things with one's body. And so,
so he knows, right?
I appreciate your perspective on this.
The way of the peaceful warrior and the story, Dan Millman's story of that's kind of a similar thing with his gymnastics career and what he believed and or didn't believe about, doing with his body and such. So a very similar story. There's a great book. It's David, I forget his last name. It'll come to me, but the name of the book is called Liminal Thinking, and it's phenomenal. But one of the things that he talks about in the book is like everybody's perception, like the old fable of the three blind guys that are all touching various points of an elephant, and one is touching the rough skin of the main body, and one's touching the ear, and one's touching the tail. And the guy touching the tail says, "No, this absolutely is a rope." And the guy touching the rough skin is, "No, this is a wall." And the guy touching the ear is like, "No, this is a fan." And, like in their world, they were absolutely 100% accurate.
Right.
Like that's what it was to them. But yet it's a much bigger picture when you see what's possible. And so he relates everything, it's kind of like how he opens the book is from there. And that like we get stuck in these bubbles and, which may or may not be, serving us, or which may or may not be in conflict with other people in their bubbles.
That's right. Yeah. And then when you run into somebody and you have a big argument about like the nature of money, and whether or not rich people are good or inherently evil because they have more power, and all these types of things, it's different fishbowls that are colliding, and people have these beliefs. So this is the number one thing. This is the number one reason, in my opinion, that each and every one of our income is currently where it's at today.
I agree.
Whether you work in a job or whether you're a business owner, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you start new businesses or you're with one business, the reason your income is where it's at is because you have created a belief about where your income can and should or could be. Now, unless you're
like the thermostat that we talked about several weeks ago too. Like, I mean, that's what sets the thermostat is your beliefs.
It is your financial thermostat. Absolutely. And a huge part of that comes from the standard of living, the amount of money that was being made in your living situation growing up. For most of us, that was your parents, right? Or whoever raised you, right? What was the living situation? What was the standard of living? What type of house did you live in? Roughly, how much income did they make? What was expected of your parents or of you in terms of higher education? What was expected or wasn't expected in terms of getting a job? What type of job was good or not good to get, right?
Yeah.
All these things are hugely influential. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We're doing a training specifically around limiting beliefs and how limiting beliefs limit our income, right? And what you can do to shift your limiting beliefs in order to expand your income, which is a very exciting topic for anybody who wants to increase their income by being more creative, right? I mean, it's a wonderful.
Or I mean, then it doesn't necessarily have to only apply to income, to business success. It's we all have these set points in everything, right? I mean, so it can apply literally to any area of your life that you feel like there's that thermostat that got set at a certain point, and you'd like to reset it. And I personally like the thinking of it as like a computer operating system. Yeah. And, you can upgrade your OS to a different degree. And then all of a sudden, all of the other software programs, it gives you more capabilities. I mean, I think often about like when iPhones first came out and what that made possible because of the touchscreen. And then it expanded into the release of the iPad. And then what they did, though, that I thought was just brilliant, that I don't believe is been recognized enough, is that they opened up the developer platform for the App Store. And in so doing, what that iPad and iPhone basis as an operating system, what that allowed them to do was new stuff that they never could before. So now the developers start developing all sorts of cool shit that goes on top of it that they couldn't do without this operating
Right.
system to do that.
Right.
And then Apple saw what they were doing, and they were like, oh, well, now we can enhance the OS, we can enhance the operating system to make it even better. And then the next group of developers enhance the apps and do all sorts of amazing stuff with it. And it just, avalanches from there. And it's kind of like what's going on with our belief systems, our identity, our, who we believe that we are, who we, what is immutable to us, what we think is impossible or possible for us on an individual basis. And it's just,
so I've run enough marathons that I know that within a month's time, I could totally go run a marathon, even though I'm not currently marathon shape. I've run enough half marathons to know there's a very good chance that the drop of a dime, I can just go and run a half marathon, and I would not have to stop, and I would probably not give myself any serious injuries, even though it's been a very long time since I ran 13 miles straight, right? I've spent years running. I know my body can do it. I definitely know my mind can do it. Right. And I definitely know that I can endure the pain of doing it, even if I'm not properly trained, because I've done it several times before. Right. Most people aren't going to say, oh, of course I could run a marathon next month. No problem. That's
right.
Even if they were physically capable, mentally, emotionally, not there.
Yeah, that's what. Right.
Right. So.
And I think there's always a barrier, it might be both. Right. But the mental belief system barrier comes first, and regardless of, and I think that we're all capable of doing and being a whole lot more than we believe is possible for us in general, period, on every topic, whether we're capable of doing, I'm sure that there is in some alternate universe, there's the ability for me to shift immediately and adopt the same mindset where I could be able to run a marathon like you, and physically be able to do it as well, even though I've never trained for one either. The longest distance that I've ever run at any one time, I think, is like 6 miles.
Yeah, but given the like a real zombie apocalypse, Armageddon, like you have to do this in order to save all of humanity, I bet you'd be able to come through for us.
Right.
You could, but you'd have to shift, in terms of there have to be a really good reason to mess yourself up like that,
Yeah. And the other side of it is that, it's like the biology of belief stuff. I don't know if you've ever read that book, or any of the human design stuff, that relate back to the I Ching and the hexagram and how that all relates to the DNA, basically a DNA strand. But there is some supported evidence in the research of that how the beliefs actually alter the physical reality, actually alter your physiology. And so that's what I mean. Like there is I'm sure that there's some way that I could shift and become immediately not like zombie apocalypse, forcing myself and putting myself through abuse, but actually be able to just like not even feel the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not possible for me now, right. Because of whatever. But the only thing that I'm trying to get at is that the beliefs, the mental capacity, the limitations, like so much is possible on every subject, so much more than like if this is what we believe is possible for us, then I guarantee that double that on any subject is reality for within your reach right now.
Right.
But you have to shape, and shift your beliefs into something else. Regardless, I mean, like right now that we all have the ability to reach for more than and to be more than what we are limiting ourselves based upon that, those thoughts.
And, there are lots of different types of things that can cause this shift to happen, right? Some of them can be witnessing someone else accomplishing something greater than you currently believe is possible. Sometimes it's as simple as someone that you trust and respect and that you look up to truly believing that you are capable of more than you believe you're
Right.
capable of.
Right.
Because
Right.
they believe it and know it with such conviction that you take on
Yeah,
that.
they see it in
well.
you more than you can see it in yourself, so that all of a sudden you believe their view, their rendition of you, right? Their mental image of you, and they do such a great job of holding their vision of you there
Right.
that there's no choice but to go there with them.
Right. Well,
I mean, we all know people like that, right? Like they enter a room and they shift the entire energy, and everybody's it's infectious, and just something happens, right? When you're around them, who can get enough of feeling that good, that empowered around people? That, I believe, is because they hold on to holding people to a bigger vision of themselves, and they don't see them any other way but at that level.
right.
Right. And then so like you want to be that person in their presence.
Right. Right. I mean, that's the beauty of having a wonderful coach, a mentor, a teacher, a guide, a guru. I mean, it's the beauty of apprenticeships. It's the beauty of internships. I mean, when you are able to connect with someone that you resonate with, that knows you can, that genuinely deeply down, they know you can do it. They know you can. There's no doubt,
Certainty.
Bill says the Olympics are a great example. Before world records are set, they are only ideas. Until those records are broken, the task is impossible. Absolutely. And Rory corrected himself about his UFO snafu there. Thank you for taking responsibility for that error in commentary, Rory. Rory and I have known each other for a long time. Don't worry, I'm not just like giving some random guy a bunch of crap.
I'm not worried.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to all of our.
Okay, you're just talking about the rest of the people watching.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's right. Yeah. So we're going to be talking tonight about this whole idea of limiting beliefs, and the direct impact that it has on your ability to grow your business as an entrepreneur. How and why can you shift these things in order to expand in the directions that you wish to expand and grow? Sometimes it's out of urgency, a fight or flight situation where you just gotta fight harder because like some crazy stuff just happened. Your house just burned down. You have to go get a new house, and you have to figure out how to put a whole bunch of money together.
Inspiration or desperation, I guess, is the cliche, right?
And it's nice when you have a healthy dose of fear and something you're trying to get away from, but you're inspired by creating something absolutely incredible in the future all at the same time. I mean, honestly, that's a sweet spot, in my opinion, is when the devil's chasing you down and you're just like, and you're just running to the glory place, and you're just going for it. It's just, but necessity is the mother of invention. It's classic stuff. Gene's like, gotta raise $6,000 ASAP. Awesome. $6,000 in art sales. That's awesome. Great. Good. Nothing better than a real deadline to make it happen, So yeah, if you guys want to join us tonight, we're going to do a training and have a discussion on Zoom all about this. If you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to grow your business and you feel like your income or your business growth is stuck, like it's plateaued.
Could even be like it could even be campaigns are stuck, or you're not getting the results that you once got or that you want to get in whatever capacity, or you're having a difficult time shifting from a successful offline business practice into an online business. There's a lot of different ways that this can be applied.
You feel like you're stuck under a glass ceiling, like that you're trapped on a hamster wheel, just can't get off. This is like there's never enough time, right, to really build the thing for the future that you want because you're working your butt off today. You're just treading water, right? And you are, but you don't know how to get out of that space. That may very well be an issue around beliefs. We're going to be talking about that tonight. Introducing you to a dear friend that Joshua introduced me to many, many years ago that helped to open my mind to all this stuff. His name is Fred. And unfortunately, Fred is a little deformed. It's not really his fault, but it is his responsibility. He had a serious accident with his head. And you'll be learning all about that this evening. So it's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll probably go for an hour or an hour and a half. It's going to be a live discussion.
I think it'll depend on how much interaction and how much adaptation, we get, and how many questions, and, how we can serve people.
That's right.
It could either be like 45 minutes to an hour, or it could be an hour and a half. I'll stay on for longer if there's lots of interaction and questions.
Yeah, which is not a scripted slideshow presentation, ladies and gentlemen. ETGworkshops.com is the place to go to put in your name and email and register for the Zoom call. And ETG stands for Escape the Grind. Escape the Grind. ETGworkshops.com. Go there, put in your name, email. You will get an email from Zoom as well as your new friend, Fred, when you do. So keep an eye out for that. And I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really fun. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow, you're stalled out, you need to have a shift in your mentality so that you can really see that shit bowl, so you can see the what bowl? The fish bowl, and hopefully break free from it. Don't get stuck in the toilet. Don't get stuck in the toilet. You can jump right out of that toilet and into a wide, wide ocean of.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, as soon as you break that 4-minute-mile barrier, then a whole new world opens up.
That's right. That's right. When you just break the toilet wide open, it just explodes all over the bathroom. That's right. ETG, Escape the Grind.
Escape the Toilet Grind.
EscapeTheToilet.com. All right. Awesome. You're going to help you guys escape the toilet tonight without getting flushed. Oh, my God.
That's great.
All right. I think it's great. I don't know if nobody else seems to think it's
great. Yeah. We're losing viewers by the boatload every second that we're rambling on now.
I'm in full support.
But so what?
Full support. All right. The golden toilet at your service. Guys, hopefully we'll avoid as much toilet talk as we can, but I can't guarantee anything at this point. I
can guarantee that I'm probably going to get emotional, when I share a particular story, because I'm planning on sharing a story, and it's very near and dear to my heart. So if you're uncomfortable with a 53-year-old dude getting a little emotional, then don't come.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, etgworkshops.com. Go and register there if you'd like to join us. And Gene's chiming in about all of our toilet references. Appreciate your sense of humor as always, Gene.
Or was it that 53-year-old guy getting emotional? Which one is TMI?
Awesome. All right, everybody. ETGworkshops.com. We will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be live. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be a Zoom call, and it's going to be awesome. All right. See you guys there.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Tom. See you. Bye.
Toodles.